This is the young man of whom I write. He is not famous. It may be that when his life at last comes to an end, he will leave no more trace of his sojourn on this earth than a stone thrown into a river leaves on the surface of the water. Yet it may be that the way of life he has chosen for himself may have an ever-growing influence over his fellow men, so that, long after his death perhaps, it may be realized that there lived in this age a very remarkable creature.
I felt that I'd been released from my body, that I was suspended in midair. That all the things that had been confused before suddenly became clear to me.
Few stars from Hollywood's golden era had the same effect over audiences the world over as 20th Century Fox's favorite son, Tyrone Edmund Power. Actor, soldier, swashbuckler, and matinee idol, Tyrone Power had it all in an era where everything he did was known and beloved all around the world, and it's not hard to see why. His appeal and relatively quick rise to stardom made him one of the most cherished products of the Star Machine Studios would ever produce. Ty Power simply exuded charm and poise in ways rarely seen even in his contemporaries, though equally molded and formed by their respective studios. From the late 1930s until the early 1940s, Ty was 20th Century Fox's golden boy, meaning Darryl Zanuck's golden boy specifically, something Ty would later learn to resent after Zanuck refused to lend him out to other studios after doing it once for MGM's Marie Antoinette in 1938. This ostensibly forced Ty to miss out on films like Golden Boy, King's Row, and even The Barretts of Wimpole Street. Nonetheless, the classically trained Power took on every role with professionalism and grace, making even the more unbelievable roles enjoyable. Ty was more than just a pretty face. He's remembered because of his undeniable screen presence, his skill in front of the camera, and his ability to connect with audiences then and now, over 65 years after his death on the set of Solomon and Sheba. The real tragedy of Ty was that he never got the chance to grow into the actor he truly wanted to be, a character actor, though he was starting to. That's the power of his talent, and why he and his legacy is still being honored over half a century after he left us. Thank you for listening, and thank you so much for honoring the legacy of Tyrone Power.
Would you say the dead man made a reluctant corpse?
A loose tongue soon loses its mouth, Captain Orsini.
A wise tongue never needs to repeat itself, Don Esteban, nor does a competent assassin. Every boy has a dog. Every boy has a beautiful old gray-haired mother. Everybody, except maybe me.
Over 70 I may be, and I wear glasses for fine print these days, and maybe I have put on a pound or two here or there, but I tell you, sir, I'm in better shape now than I was that morning 50 years ago.
I thought I was doing such a great thing for the world. And what have I done? Destroyed everything I've touched. Now Tony's gone. And for what? For what?
Oh, there was a lot to her in those days. She had what Keats probably would have called a sort of lovely purity. I wonder why I'm like that.
Like what?
I'm never thinking about anybody except myself.
Did your folks drop you on your head or something?
Yeah, they dropped me all right. Listen, honey, I don't want to make you unhappy. You know that. If you want to forget about the whole thing, it's all right with me.
You won't get sore, Stan?
What do you think I am? That's why you were stalling, huh? Waiting for the cops.
That's ridiculous. Why should I call the police?
Don't you think I got ears? What about that?
What about what?
That police siren.
I don't hear anything.
Anyway, it irritated me. So I kept asking for the swankiest tours, all deluxe and cabin on the boat deck, but it was just putting on an act.
An act? You knew that in a week you were going to inherit 80,000 pounds.
No, it wasn't that way at all. It was make-believe and childish, but it was fun and I enjoyed it. I never thought of killing anyone or of inheriting any money.
It was just a remarkable coincidence that Mrs. French should be killed only 1 week later.
I told you I didn't kill her.
Goodbye.
Tim?
I know, honey. I'm a worm.
I don't think anyone can fail to be better and nobler, kinder for knowing him. You see, my dear, goodness is, after all, the greatest force in the world. And he's got it.